All right. Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about dynamic effort, lower body day. This is Thursday, August 28th, 2025. Going over what we did today first, we have our single leg wall sit, foam roller bridge. I ended up skipping this one for one of those ISOs, more of a time constraint thing. I'm more worried, and I feel like I get a little bit more out of that single leg wall sit for my current problem with my patella. Um, and then we did some reverse hypers, which we did a little more a little heavier than we are prescribed. Then we went into some sled sprints, which we'll get into. For our main movement today, we did speed belt squat. The 50% here is a little bit more of a just the idea. It was about 50% of whatever we had. However, we don't have actual numbers for the belt squat itself, so we kind of just picked a weight that felt fast. And then we had kettlebell swings, which will be interesting, and you'll see pistol squat to box, prone banded leg curl 3x30 this week, and that was rough. Vogel pulls and suitcase abs, so not much different than the prior weeks. Of course, we had the things that are different, the speed belt squats and the kettlebell swings. So anyway, getting into the actual content of the workout. So we hit some PRs, which some of these are just like they're PRs because they're the first time I've done them, or they're actual PRs as well. There's a couple things like reverse hyper. This is a 20 rep PR technically. Pistol box squat is a bodyweight exercise, so sort of PR just because I'm heavier today than I apparently have been. And then we also have suitcase abs was also a PR by a full set, I think, potentially, depending on how you want to count that as a PR. Anyway, going through single leg wall sits. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one here. Push through to get set up. These started going pretty difficult, burning a little bit in that quad. Again, this is just for that tendon health for the most part. Hopefully I counted this right. Was planning to shoot for between 35 and 40 seconds. And I'm obviously recording, so I didn't have a timer on me at the time. I'm getting to 42, 43. So I feel like that was pretty confidently about 40 seconds. And that's the bad leg, so I'm only going to show that one. Bad leg is kind of a relative term. But anyway, those are always great. I am still unsure of how I want to actually track these, and this is just how I've been doing it. It's more of just a reminder of to do them more than to track the progress through them. More than anything, again, skip the foam roller bridge, went into reverse hypers, did 140 pounds on this day. If you may know from, I think, Monday, we did these for the actual training session at 15 reps. Used the same weight, just bumped it up to 20 reps for that warm-up type action there. Again, just squeezing the glutes at the top. These felt pretty good. Don't really have much to say. Again, it's just a machine, so like very, very simple movement here at the hips there. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and skip through this. 20 reps all look relatively the same. Squeeze the glutes at the top, kind of let that go down, squeeze the glutes at the top again. So these are the sled sprints here. I hope these look a little bit better than they felt. I'm going to just go ahead and watch one at full speed. Again, still getting back into sprinting. By getting back in, I mean getting into in general. So let's go ahead and take this back. I'm going to put this in slow-mo, just see if I can see some angles that I like. I'm really just liking to see if I get full extension off when I'm driving through, which is kind of looking like I am. This quality in the camera is not the greatest. It does look like I am kind of getting that full extension that I'm looking for. That's not a great. Let me use this ruler tool. Full extension, so my ankle's right here. It almost looks like I'm getting that full extension. It's not quite a side angle that I would like to see when analyzing this movement, but again, if the quality was just a little bit better, that would help. And we can't turn it up, unfortunately, at the moment. Again, it's also just weird lighting and things like that could be affecting it. But I feel like these felt a lot better and less clunky today. Definitely still not really great technique for sure. However, again, I'm just getting them done, just trying to get back into more athletic movements in general versus just bodybuilding movements. Driving through. Again, probably could have took a couple more strides there to get through that line. But again, let's take another one. One more. I recorded 4 out of the 6. Let's look at one more here, pushing away from the camera. See if it looks any better. I feel like I'm definitely bobbing side to side a little more than needed, at least with the upper body. So that'll be something I'm kind of conscious of for the weeks to come, which I don't know if we're actually doing sled sprints. So this is the 3rd week of our conjugate program. So we will be switching over to some different exercises soon for some warm-up things and as well as accessory type movements. So we'll have to kind of just see for that. Belt squat, unfortunately, the the OVR velocity was not working with the range of motion, or at least not as well as I wanted it to. They do have a great option where you can kind of change this different, what is the term that they actually use on the machine? I'm trying to think. Minimal range of motion, so 6 inches up to 36, I think. Even the 6 inches for the belt squat specifically wasn't quite large enough range of motion to get a reading. And when I changed it to where it would read, I don't believe it was very accurate. So anyway, we're going to get set up here. Did 8 by, I believe it was 8 by 3 today. Pretty simple here. Still trying to sit back into them, and I'm a little interested to see what that looked like. Again, I'm going to slow this down now. And looks like I got a little shallow there, actually. Yeah, I'm a little shallow, unfortunately. I did honestly feel like I was getting pretty dang deep in these. Not really deep, obviously, but parallel to a little bit below. Let's go ahead and go to the next one here and start out in slow-mo. And again, I am trying to sit back a lot like I've been trying to do with my squats. I'm just trying to practice that. So that one's not too bad there. Pause that right there. So that was the bottom. Again, and then I do like to use these tools. I'm trying to get better at them. So my knees right about here. Looks like my femur's kind of going to be right in that area. So I would like to see that more here. So maybe just got to sink those hips down a little bit better. My vertical shin, though, was a lot better here. Again, it's still a little bit angled, but much better than obviously when I've had the barbell on my back. So that's good. Let's go ahead and just let this play by clicking the pin there. Going through. So yeah, looks like I'm cutting depth just a tad short, which is a little unfortunate. I really thought I was getting a little lower than this. I need to start checking the videos while I'm training. That would probably be a better idea, Steven, to kind of learn from that. But again, I am at least doing these feedback videos and kind of getting to see what I might need to work on as myself versus just looking at my clients' feedback as well. So again, just getting more and more practice, just looking at movement, squats, deadlifts, bench press, all that things I think is going to help me in the long run and other people as well, obviously. So these are the kettlebell swings. These were interesting to see the least. You'll probably see me, these are probably going to be the ugliest kettlebell swings you may have ever seen. This might be the 3rd time I've ever done kettlebell swings, if that, for at least an actual exercise or actual programmed exercise, not just kind of messing around with it for a second. And you'll see probably that that's the case pretty quickly here. Let's skip ahead just a tad. I'll move these out of the way. Yeah, so this probably was not the greatest, like I said. And here you're about to see me fall over. Here soon, I believe. It might be in the next clip, to be honest, but you did see me kind of stumble forward there. Again, I don't have too many technical cues on this one because this is not an exercise that I normally do. And I unfortunately was, again, training by myself again today. So that's okay, though. And I actually found out later that the rest of the strength staff did do these banded, which I did not know about. First was not required today, but they ended up trying that. Yeah, we're just going to watch probably just this one right here. And we'll go ahead and move there. I keep hopping forward just ever so slightly, every few reps sometimes. It was really interesting. Like, I didn't mind it, but I've never done it before, so it was definitely a different type of movement than I've done. So then we have these pistol squat to box, pistol squats to box, I suppose. And these went okay. I got a different thing to elevate my heel today, and I honestly felt a lot better. definitely with this higher heel elevation, had a lot more quad involved, which honestly was a good thing. And I actually enjoyed it a lot. Felt a little better on the knee, honestly, as well as just felt better moving through that range of motion in general, in this movement pattern, I guess. Um, and here those guys looked like they were looking for something, so I went to help them, but I don't think they heard me, and I think they ended up finding what they were looking for. But overall, these are looking a lot better. Again, the heel elevation is a little different than the past few sessions. However, I'm still very, very happy with these today for the most part. There's obviously things that we can always do better, hopefully hold some weight eventually. But these, again, like I said, might be the last week we're doing these for a while, but I'll definitely have to try to re-implement them into later programming. Going to go ahead and go through. Again, these are just banded leg curls, nothing serious here. Skipping ahead. Today, that 30 reps on these leg curls kind of killed me. As you'll see here pretty soon probably, I'm just barely pulsing through. I'm already starting to slow down just a little bit here. Just kind of regretting life off to the side. The tongue stick out there. Again, not much to see here. I think we're soon about to get into kind of where we were just pulsing. Again, this is the first set, and this is the only one I recorded, and this was probably the least bad one. Actually, it wasn't too bad, actually. I actually got to 90 degrees. The other ones, however, after I was a little fatigued, were pretty bad. Like, I got to, like, rep 20, and the fact that I had 10 more was very worrying for sure. Here's these Vogel pulls that we've seen a few times. Just stretching out overhead, leaning forward, and then pulling that band back into, kind of dropping those shoulder blades a little bit, setting those lats. Felt pretty solid. And then moving into suitcase abs. We were kind of just chatting. This was kind of finishing up the workout here. Just reaching as far down as possible. And then again, making sure to try to actively use a wrong tool there. Actively use that opposite oblique. Again, I'm just kind of yapping. Believe it or not, based off these videos, you might know I'm pretty good at that. But anyway, again, pulling with that opposite side there. Felt pretty good. And so far, not feeling too sore, which is a good thing. Which, if you've watched the past videos, they destroyed my obliques the first week that we did these. Anyway, we also did another set of Vogel pulls as well as suitcase abs. I forgot to mention that earlier. Going through the metrics. So difficulty today was about a 3. The only thing that was honestly super difficult was those hamstring curls, and probably the pistol squat to box. Those were a little difficult today. Definitely felt the quads burning a little bit more, which again I'm okay with. Duration was about 65. That was just pretty average on that duration scale. Just above 60 minutes has kind of been the average. And most of these probably could have gone a lot quicker, including today. Like I said, I was talking and things like that, which again, pretty good at. Fatigue was about a 2. So I've been feeling pretty good, it seems, the past few training sessions, which I'm very happy about. That first week of class definitely had me a little under the, or I guess above the normal fatigue scale that I'd like to see. Again, not a huge deal though. Tomorrow will be interesting. I have an early wake up tomorrow for the max effort upper body day, which I'm kind of excited about. I'm doing a normal bench versus chains, I believe. So we'll kind of see how that goes. And I think that's what we have planned. I could double check. Going through real quick though, we're going to just click through that nutrition. I have not uploaded my actual nutrition photo yet, but again, just kind of showing off the, what is going on here? Well, that is awkward. There we go. And then clicking through to Thursday. So far, woke up about a pound lighter. Checking that metric again. We're at least slowly going to get some different weight, some metrics and lines and graphs and things popping up. Sleep was about a 6 again. Not the greatest, but I was up later trying to get a client set up, and then I had to finish my GPP video. I think is also what I did as well. So, and nutrition check-in. So that was okay. Not too big of a deal. Had a little bit of caffeine today. Felt pretty good. Obviously, like I said, the fatigue was low. Again, overall, would like to see 7.5, 8, maybe a 9 here and there. But again, we'll kind of work with what we got for right now. So anyway, that's been today's video for Thursday, August 28th, 2025. Dynamic lower body day. So again, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns about the programming, coaching, anything like that, let me know in the comments. And besides that, have a good day, and I'll see you later.